I was just a simple man. One day, I married a rich and beautiful woman. At first, life looked like a dream: shiny cars, big house, sweet dinners. But slowly, small strange things began to happen. She locked her phone at night, a letter came with no name, and one nurse whispered to me, "Be careful." My heart started to shake. What was she hiding? Watch this story till the end. You will feel every emotion and also learn English with the story. I still remember the first day I saw Emma. She was standing at a grand charity gala, wearing a golden dress that seemed to light the entire hall. Everyone looked at her with admiration, but somehow her eyes found mine. I was just David, a simple school teacher, lost in the world of millionaires. Yet she walked toward me, smiling like she had known me forever. That night changed everything. Within months, we were married. My friends called me the luckiest man alive, but I felt like a stranger entering a world built on glass and shadows. The mansion Emma took me to was larger than anything I had ever imagined. Tall glass windows, marble floors, chandeliers that sparkled like stars. At first, I felt proud, walking beside her as if I belonged. Our days were filled with laughter, dinners, and trips. But slowly, cracks began to show. Emma often received strange phone calls late at night. She would step out of the room, whispering words I could not hear. When I asked, she smiled too sweetly and said, "David, don't worry. Some things are too complicated." Her words unsettled me. One evening, I came home early and heard her speaking on the phone. Her voice trembled as she said, "This must stay hidden." My heart pounded. She noticed me and quickly ended the call, pretending it was about business. Later, I tried to look into her study. A drawer was locked tightly, and when I touched it, she appeared out of nowhere and snapped, "Never touch that again." Her anger shocked me. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, my mind repeating the same question: what is she hiding? Soon after, I found a letter slipped under her pillow. The words were short but powerful. "The past cannot be buried forever." My blood turned cold. When I asked Emma, she grew pale and tore the paper before my eyes. She whispered, "You don't understand, David. My world is different." The silence between us grew heavier. At school, I made mistakes in lessons. Students noticed I was distracted. My friend Mark pulled me aside and said, "Secrets in marriage are poison. Be careful." His warning felt like thunder in my ears. Then came the night that changed everything. Emma suddenly fainted at dinner. I panicked and rushed her to the hospital. The doctor checked her, but it was the nurse who pulled me aside. She looked me straight in the eyes and whispered, "I know your wife's secret." My legs weakened. I begged her to explain, but she only said, "Be strong, David. You will need strength." Fear and doubt battled inside me. Emma woke up later, holding my hand. But when I asked questions, she cried and begged, "Please stop asking." The nurse's words haunted me day and night. I decided to follow Emma secretly. One night, she left the house in a black coat, driving fast. I followed at a distance until she stopped at an old, abandoned-looking house. She entered quickly, and after an hour, she came out with a man I had never seen. They spoke in urgent tones, glancing around like criminals. My chest tightened. Who was he? Why was my wife meeting him? I wanted to shout, but my fear locked my lips. Shadows swallowed my heart that night. The next morning, I tried to act normal, but inside I was tearing apart. Emma acted as if nothing had happened, even asking me, "Do you trust me, David?" I forced a smile and said yes, though doubt filled my soul. Later, Mark visited me. He said, "David, truth burns. It can set you free, but it will leave scars." His words left me shaken. That night, as I looked at Emma across the table, I wondered, did I marry a stranger? Or was my wife carrying a burden too heavy to share? I could not stay silent anymore. I told Emma that I had seen her at the old house with the mysterious man. Her face turned pale, and for the first time, she looked afraid. She whispered, "You should never have followed me." Then she locked herself in her study for hours. I knocked, begged, and cried outside the door, but she refused to open it. When she finally came out, her eyes were red. She grabbed my hand and said, "David, I love you. But if you knew everything, you would never forgive me." Her words cut deeper than knives. The next morning, while Emma was out, I returned to the old house. The mysterious man was there. His eyes were dark, heavy with secrets. He looked at me and said, "So, you are David." My voice shook as I asked, "Who are you?" He sighed and answered, "I am part of Emma's past, a past she cannot erase." My stomach churned. Before I could ask more, Emma appeared suddenly, screaming, "Stop. Don't tell him anything." Tears rolled down her face. The air felt like fire. That night, Emma finally confessed a part of the truth. She told me her family's wealth was built on dark deals that left scars on many lives. The man I had seen was someone who once saved her from danger, but in return demanded loyalty and silence. She said marrying me was her way of escaping, but the past refused to die. I held her as she cried, but the trust between us cracked. Love can carry weight, but can it carry a secret so heavy? My heart whispered, maybe not. For days, I tried to live as if her secret did not exist, but the walls were closing in. At school, I forgot lessons, dropped books, and frightened children with my absent mind. Emma too grew quieter, often staring out the window as if waiting for something or someone. One evening, I found her holding another letter, her hands trembling. She tried to hide it, but I caught a glimpse. "Time is running out." My chest tightened. What time? What danger? I felt trapped in a story where I was the last to know. The tension became unbearable. I begged Emma to tell me everything, but she only repeated, "I want to protect you." Protect me from what? My nights became sleepless, filled with nightmares of losing her. Then, one evening, the nurse called me to the hospital, saying she had more to tell me. She whispered, "Emma's life is tied to a promise she cannot break. If she breaks it, both of you will pay." My hands shook. The nurse refused to explain further, leaving me drowning in fear and unanswered questions. I confronted Emma again. This time, anger burned through my fear. I shouted, "Enough secrets, tell me or I will leave." She broke down, clutching my hands. "David, if I tell you, they will come for you too," my heart thundered. Who were they? She looked away, tears streaming down her face. I realized her fear was not only for herself, but also for me. That night, she slept beside me, but her body trembled. I held her tightly, yet felt more distant than ever. Was love enough to survive this storm? The mysterious man returned, this time to our mansion. I caught him speaking to Emma in the garden, his voice sharp. He said, "You cannot hide forever." I rushed out, demanding answers, but he disappeared into the night. Emma collapsed into my arms, sobbing. She whispered, "Please, believe me. I never wanted this life." My mind spun with questions, but all I felt was fear. The walls of our marriage were shaking, and the storm outside had finally entered our home. Could we still stand together, or would secrets tear us apart? Emma's health began to fail under the pressure. She stopped eating, stopped laughing, and her eyes carried deep shadows. I tried to help, but she pushed me away, whispering, "If you love me, don't ask." My heart ached. I turned to Mark, desperate. He said, "David, love is not blind. Love sees everything and still stays." His words gave me courage. That night, I told Emma, "No matter what, I will not leave you." She cried harder than ever, but for the first time, I felt she wanted to tell me everything. Emma finally opened the locked drawer in her study. Inside were documents, photographs, and letters. My hands shook as I read them. They revealed her family's ties to dangerous people, men who still controlled her through fear. The man I had seen was one of them, a reminder of her debt. "If I break their silence, we both will be destroyed," she said. My world collapsed. I realized the woman I loved was fighting a silent war every day. I wanted to save her, but how do you fight shadows from the past? The truth weighed on me like chains. I tried to go to the police, but Emma begged me not to. "They are everywhere," she whispered. I started to see danger in every corner, cars following us, strangers watching. Fear crawled into my bones. Emma grew weaker, holding me tightly at night as if she was afraid to let go. I wanted to scream, to run, to fight, but I was trapped. Love had brought me here, but secrets were holding me hostage. Was this marriage salvation or a prison I could never escape? One evening, Emma disappeared. I searched everywhere until I found her at the old house again. She was standing with the man, handing him an envelope. I shouted her name, and she turned with tears. "David, I have to end this," she cried. The man sneered and vanished into the dark. Emma collapsed in my arms, whispering, "I gave away everything. Maybe now we are free." But were we really? My heart could not believe her words. Freedom felt too far away, and shadows still danced around us. I held her tighter. Days passed, but peace never came. Emma tried to smile, but her eyes betrayed her. One morning, another letter arrived. I opened it with trembling hands. The words were short and cruel. "Secrets never die." My chest tightened as I looked at Emma. She turned pale, whispering, "They will never let us go." Tears blurred my vision. I realized that even if love survived, trust had already broken. My rich wife, my love, had lived in fear her whole life, and now that fear had become mine too. Now I sit in our silent mansion, staring at Emma across the table. We are together, but something stands between us, the secret. Her hands shake, her eyes avoid mine, and I wonder if love alone can save us. Can marriage survive lies, no matter the reason? Or are secrets stronger than love? I don't know if our story ends with freedom or with more chains. What do you think, my friend? Can love survive when truth itself becomes the enemy? Tell me in the comments, I need to know.